Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Good afternoon to you. Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday afternoon. And on this edition of the State of the Saints podcast, we're going to be talking about some of the Saints getting some of their key starters back. This is huge. As you all know, it's wild card weekend. The Saints have a big playoff matchup taking on the Chicago Bears. And Michael Thomas, Deontay Harris, Marcus Williams, so many key additions or key starters to the Saints are going to be playing in this game, it looks like. And these guys are coming back at the right time. I mean, anytime that you can get guys like Deontay Harris and Michael Thomas back, what I'm saying, these are huge names right here. First off, these guys are first-team All-Pros. So definitely when you have some all-pro talent coming back, it is huge. And also Marcus Williams, who ended up, twisting his ankle in that Kansas City Chiefs game. I mean, he did pretty good. Marcus Williams has elevated his game this season, probably his best season as a New Orleans Saint. So getting him back in the secondary is key as well. Also, C.J. Gardner-Johnson looks like he's going to play. He was on a COVID list a couple days before Alvin Kamara, so he'll be able to return back a little bit earlier than Alvin Kamara is. And all signs are leading to Alvin Kamara playing in this game. According to sources, he doesn't have any type of he's not dealing with any type of illness, no coughing or anything like that, no shortness of breath or what COVID actually entails. So that's a good thing. So if he can go out here, get a good test, then most likely he'll be playing in a game on Sunday afternoon. Look, man, the Saints need all hands on deck for them to make this run at the Super Bowl. Okay, we all know what the stakes are, right? We know that Drew Brees is about to wrap this career up. Most likely he's going to be riding off into the sunset, win, lose, or draw. So what better way to send number 9 off except for a blaze of glory? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go out there and make sure that we just put our best foot forward. Look, I'm not looking past the Chicago Bears, but I feel like if the Saints play their game, then I feel like they should be able to beat the Chicago Bears. And I know this is not going to be an easy game because, I do understand the threat that the Chicago Bears give the New Orleans Saints, especially defensively. And offensively, it depends. If you're throwing the ball to Allen Robinson, they do have a few weapons on that team, where they can actually get some points. But the Saints, as long as they handle their business, shouldn't be no issue. Saints should be able to go out there and get this victory, especially when you have Michael Thomas and a playmaker like Deontay Harris coming back on the offensive side of the ball. You add that with Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook, you got Marquez Callaway, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, the list goes on and on. The Saints should be ready for prime time, as I like to say here on the State of the Saints podcast. Let's go ahead and answer a few questions, man. See what you all have to say. Thank you very much for taking your time out to be a part of the show. We're going to start with Zach. Zach says we need to blow out every team we face. Don't put the game in the ref's hand. I agree, but it's easier said than done, Zach. You can say that you want to blow out a team, but it don't necessarily mean that's going to happen. I mean, these teams get paid too. And when they get paid, they want to win these football games as well. So it's not going to be that simple. I mean, but if you execute your game plan, you put your best product on the field, I think that the Saints should be able to get this dub. No doubt about that. Dada says, who that TJ this morning and chat room. So we giving a shout out to me as well as the chat, man. What's going on, Dada? I appreciate you for stopping by. Just bought a Breeze Color Rush jersey for his farewell. Well, that's cool right there because I do feel like the Saints got the best color rush in the entire NFL. So, what I'm saying? That's a plus right there, So, yeah, that's a good-looking jersey, no doubt about it. Perry Whammy said, let's get this Lombardi. Yeah, we hope so, Let's hope that everything works out. Should be able to. I saw Taysom might be hurt. Taysom dealt with a concussion. He got concussed in the last game, so he's going through concussion protocol right now. I don't know if he'll be able to play on Sunday or not, but they definitely going to need him because he is an X factor. I'll be ripping them. Thank you very much for the $2. Says, how well will the wall of farts work in the playoffs? Well, I tell you what, man, they must have been doing some Waller farts over the last couple of weeks, the way they've been running that football. So if they put up the fart control, you know what I'm saying, and they continue to block the way they've been blocking for these running backs, we should be running all the way to Tampa. I can tell you that right now, okay? And hopefully they'll get the job done. Iceman T, what's going on? He says, hey, TJ, I have faith in the Saints, but the Saints could not lose this year. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah, I mean, that often happens, Iceman. You know, it's not so much about what the other team's done. It's about what the Saints are not doing. You know, it's not so much about what the Saints, you know, go out there and, you know, let a team just go ahead and steamroll all over them. They just make so many mistakes, man. And then they playing behind the 8-ball, and then they trying to come back from a 2 or 3 touchdown deficit. Like, you don't want to play like that, man. You got to go out there and execute and play your game from start to finish, okay? It's not going to be easy, man, because it's the playoffs, okay? And you get every team's best shot, but, man, play your game. Let's get this win Sunday, Saints. Yeah. Just concussion protocol. Okay. I mean, look, I don't know how many. I don't think Taysom ever had a concussion. So, and hopefully it's not too severe. But if he does have concussion symptoms, then don't play him. You know, I understand what Taysom brings to the table, but I ain't trying to see nobody going out there trying to get, you know, putting their best foot forward and then get another concussion. And, you know, I mean, you think about Taysom Hill. I mean, Taysom Hill, he's 30 years old, man, but that man got a wife. He got a newborn baby. You know, you want him to be around and be able to have all their faculties. So I'm all for guys playing. I want to see them on the field, but not at the expense of their health. They're going to, you know, hurt them down the line. So if he's still dealing with concussions, then don't put him on the field. Fact the Saints are that good to where if they bring their A game, it really should be a dub. Yeah. And Drew Brees spoke on this in a press conference. He said, I don't think I ever seen an entire season where every position had a starter out. He said they had a replacement for every single position. That's crazy, man, that at one time or another, every position on the team had a backup playing in that position. And they still managed to win 12 games. That goes to show you how good Sean Payton is as a head coach, and that goes to show you how locked in this team is. So, and it also, you know, shows you, you know, the depth of this team and how they be making excuses for all these other teams out here. And look at the Saints, you know, all these injuries they had, and they still managed to win 12 games. Let's keep that in mind too. We have to make it to the Super Bowl this year, especially Drew last year as a Saint. Yeah. I mean, how about making it to the Super Bowl because you're good enough to make the Super Bowl? You know, I do understand about Drew Brees it being his last year, but let's make it to the Super Bowl because you're good enough to get there. We need to establish momentum early and often and control the tempo from start to finish. I agree with that. I agree. That's definitely what we need to do in this game. You know, just start fast. You know, don't be trying to play catch up the entire game like you've been doing in the last couple playoff games, you know, playing from behind. That's crazy, though. You know, I can think even when the Saints, they played who they played? They played the Philadelphia Eagles, right? They played the Philadelphia Eagles, and they ended up, like, falling behind in that game. You know what I'm saying? I think Drew Brees threw an interception. You know, Minnesota game, you know what I'm saying? They ended up falling behind. What the Saints need to start doing, they need to start fast. You know, they need to start fast and eliminate the mistakes. You know, like I think that will kind of cost this team often is that they make so many mistakes at the beginning of the games. And then, you know, they play almost like, you know, they try to work themselves back into the game and they make a lot of mistakes. So I don't want to see that, man. Start fast. That's your best bet. TJ, how can we beat these guys? Playing our game, running the football, controlling the time possession, not asking Drew Brees to throw the football all over the place, and not playing behind the 8-ball. Look, there's no excuse for the Saints to go out here and be able to execute defensively against Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears. Not saying the Chicago Bears are a bunch of scrubs. I don't buy into that. You know, I feel like any team can beat any team. But I do feel like if the Saints don't take these guys lightly and they play their game and they execute, they should be able to win. but falling behind is a big no-no, okay? You want to go ahead and put pressure on these guys and not give these guys hope. And when you got teams hanging around that people feel like shouldn't be there, that's when you start giving these guys hope and they start believing like we can beat these guys. All we got to do is do this, that, and the third. No, man, you impose your will on these guys and you rip their heart out, you know what I'm saying, early. So you don't have to worry about these guys, still being in it. You know what I'm saying? Let them try to play from behind. Let them have a little desperation going. I just feel like it's been too much desperation with the New Orleans Saints in the postseason over the past couple of years. Okay, it's always some slow starts. Like start fast. Like get the job done. Which corner should we neutralize Robinson with? I'm gonna go with Janoris Jenkins on this one. You know, I just feel like Janoris Jenkins, does a little bit better with smaller type guys, those type of built receivers like Allen Robinson versus Marshawn Lattimore, who probably can deal with the bigger receivers. So I would probably, I'll probably start the game off with Janoris Jenkins on Allen Robinson and kind of switch it up. Hey, TJ, are the Bears at full strength? Man, they have some injuries, of course. Roquan Smith, it's something that he's dealing with. Wide receiver Mooney, he's also dealing with injuries. Allen Robinson been dealing with a hamstring, so they do have some injury issues. But still, these guys can still go out there and play, and I'm pretty sure they are going to play. So, you can't just be hoping that these guys hurt. Go out there and play. Go out there and play, as if these guys are at 100%. Excited to have Deontay back. Yeah, Deontay Harris is an X factor in this game. He's a guy that you can throw the screen passes to, the wide receiver screen passes, and get those extra yards. He can get those yards in little small spaces, and also on special teams, we know he can flip the field. So, yeah, it's good to have him back. Hopefully, he'll be able to play throughout the entire postseason because those extra yards and the way that he can flip the field is extremely beneficial to the Saints. The slow start is our worst enemy. We have to come out with and maintain our momentum. Yep. Like I said, we always fall behind in these postseason games, and that's what cost us, down the line because we're always playing catch up. It's very rare over the last couple of years the Saints been playing with a lead in the playoffs. So if we can put together our first 15 plays and be our best plays, get that good opening drive going. If we playing defense, let's make sure that we get a stop, like a good 3 and out, or maybe, if you can't get a 3 and out, not enough for them to like get a field goal, but let them punt the football and allow the offense to drive down the field for a field goal or a touchdown, hopefully a touchdown. That's what we need. I'm going to keep it real. I don't know if I can take another catastrophic loss in the playoff. You feel me, TJ? I feel you guys, man. Like I'm in the same boat, I don't try to hide that from the Who Dat Nation here on the State of the Saints podcast. I am a little bit of a nervous wreck. I'm trying not to even think about the game. And I promise you I haven't even been watching any of the sports shows right now, man, because all I'm hearing is how the Saints going to win this game, this, that, and the third. I don't like all that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I felt like when we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that time, right? Everybody said that Tampa was at full strength and we ain't have a chance. Then all of a sudden we went out there and we waxed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't buy into what the media tries to sell out there. So I try to stay away from that stuff, man. And, I ain't paying attention to it. I know that, you can't look past any team, regardless of record, quarterback, offensive game plan, or what have you. If you look around, you mess around and get beat, right? Nobody expected for them boys to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? But they did. TJ, do you think the offense will be different without Hill? No, not really. How often is Taysom Hill in a game? You know what I'm saying? Taysom Hill usually been in a game for about, I don't know, maybe, about 10 or 11 snaps, maybe even less than that. So if he's not in the game, probably going to be running an RPO, But that's cool, man. You know, the Saints got other ways where they can get other guys involved. I look for somebody like Emmanuel Sanders to line up in the backfield and run the football. I look for a couple trick plays. I look for maybe a running back to throw the football in his game. I mean, Sean Payton gonna dial up something we haven't seen this season. Raymond says we're going to the Super Bowl this year. We had 3 years of disappointment. Not this year. We're stepping on teams for the playoffs. Yeah, I hope that happens, but I want people to understand this, man. Just, I don't think people can just look at this and be like, we deserve this, we deserve this, we deserve this. Like, nobody really deserves anything. You know what I'm saying? What do we really deserve? Like, we want the New Orleans Saints to go out there and win it all. But you can't just say, oh, man, just all these years of heartbreak, like, we going to get it this time. And I hope that's the case, but we can't just think just because, we fell short these 3 times, that just means that we're entitled or, we're, what I'm saying? Like, like, man, you got to execute. That's my main focus. We have to execute. And no, what I'm saying? I don't want to be negative, Nancy or whatever like that. I just understand the threat. And, I learned never to get too high, never to get too low when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I want them to win. Yeah, I believe that they're going to win. But, I mean, I just want them to go out there and execute. I mean, it's been so many times where this team has played down to their competition where you know that they're the most superior team. And I think that's what hurt us the most in some of these playoff games, man, when we play down to the competition or we don't play with that spark or we don't play with a level of enthusiasm or a sense of urgency. And we allow these teams that don't even need to be on the same field as us for the most part. We allow them to stay around, stick around, and allow them to shove the knife into our back. And we just sitting there as a fan base wondering what the heck happened. I don't want that anymore. I don't want that feeling anymore. It's kind of, it's kind of frustrating. Nick, thank you very much for 399. Says, who that? Run the ball and play on fire. I agree with that. Run the football, that is key. I mean, Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk been playing like they out their mind these past few weeks. So it seems like the offensive line, they want the Saints to run the football. They want Sean Payton to run the football, and they be advocating for it on the sideline. So I'm glad that Sean Payton has been listening to these guys and, getting these guys, running the football. We do passionate. Our feelings are so involved with this team. Yeah, for real. I mean, I tell anybody, I'm a fan first before I'm a podcaster, a broadcaster. So a lot of the times when people are like, man, why are you saying this, that, and the third? I'm speaking from a fan standpoint. And people are like, man, you need to call it like it is. Like, how am I supposed to call it? I mean, if this is a show based on opinion, how am I supposed to call it? How am I supposed to do that? I do this show based on how I feel. Like, give my analysis based on how I feel at the time. LGS, thank you very much for the $2.99. Like I said, I haven't mastered that concept yet. I didn't. But man, I gotta talk about this, man. I put something up on Facebook. I'm gonna get back to the question. I put something on Facebook. Shouts out to Keep Pounding TV. Got this guy who's a huge Carolina Panther fan. His name is Big Cat, and he was talking about the New Orleans Saints, and he was talking about how the New Orleans Saints were celebrating in the Carolina Panthers locker room. And, he was saying that they made a music video, and he was talking about how disrespectful it was. And he was just, I mean, it's like maybe 10 minutes long, but he was like going in on the Saints and just talking about, I hope somebody knocked the Saints off and congratulations, y'all went up against a team that's still trying to learn how to win. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I can taste the salt on my lips, how salty this cat was. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. Big Cat was extremely salty in the video. And, normally I don't really go at other podcasters or anything like that. But I just think that was a sucker move. You know what I'm saying? For you to really just take it that personal. And I understand, man, you got an emotional investment in your team, but just, using, profanity and stuff like that, dropping N-bombs and all that kind of stuff, man, I just feel like that's in bad taste, and, I do have a homeboy of mine. Shouts out to my boy, Mike, Mike Ricks, he be on the channel. But I just don't have no respect for that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you try to entertain your supporters and stuff like that, but that just wasn't a good look right there. And, I can remember being on a show earlier in the season before the season actually started. I mean, I was on a guy's show named Real Perez, and Big Cat was on there. And I remember, like, before the show, he was just up there just being, mad disrespectful towards the Saints and stuff like that, man. And I'm just up there just rolling my eyes, man, because I already know it was about to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew that the Saints were going to be better than the Carolina Panthers. And, I just thought that was just a bad look, man. So, I mean, I ain't going to go into it like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to even trade blows. I just thought that was just bad taste right there. And, if you're going to talk about a team, at least, like, put some stats or some, like put something behind it, you know what I'm saying, to make it just seem like you just ain't salty, you know what I'm saying? That was just, I don't know, man. That was just, high blood pressure salt right there. You know what I'm saying? That was like movie theater salt. That was Biloxi Beats water salt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just, I don't know, man. Check it out, man. It's on Facebook, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. I just felt like that was just bad. That was just that just wasn't a good look, man. That just wasn't a good look to me. Kim says Big Cat show was really disrespectful. Yeah, man, I don't understand it, man. Like, I understand he, I mean, y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me. Somebody called my phone, so can y'all still hear me? I'm talking on my phone, man, so I want to know if y'all can still hear me. I don't want to be like last time where I would just. Okay, good. Because okay, one more time. I thought I put my phone on do not disturb, man. I keep on getting these spam calls. I kind of figured that y'all can still hear me. Okay, cool. But yeah, man. I mean, look, I like the dude, man. He seemed like a character more so than anything, But I don't know. I was supposed to be. This is the thing, man, and then we'll get back to the questions. I was supposed to work with this dude called Fantasy Football Counselor, right? And he had like this idea where they have like these different websites, and for each website, it was supposed to have like a team representative. So he reached out to like a whole bunch of podcasters out there. I guess, podcasters that he felt like would be beneficial to their network or whatever. And he reached out to me because he wanted me to be the Saints representative. But, I started to look at like some of his videos and stuff. And, I realized that, it just wasn't really for me. And, they end up having like a conference call, and the conference calls was like, oh, y'all need to get with it, and we about to take off. And, other podcasters, y'all need to be able to step on them, and y'all need to know y'all the best, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, this just ain't for me, man. I just can't roll like that. And Big Cat was actually one of the guys they selected to be a Carolina Panthers representative. And I didn't, I wasn't really feeling it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never like got into podcasting because I just wanted to step on the competition. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's room for everybody to grow. I don't want to like kill somebody else's dream for, just for me to elevate myself. First off, I just feel like there's a lane for everybody. I don't feel like anybody is like me or I'm like anybody else. So I decided to like, step away from it or whatever like that. But, the way they were just talking on there was just mad disrespectful, and I just wasn't feeling it. And like I said, man, Big Cat, I know he have a lot of followers and stuff like that. He gaining momentum, but I wasn't feeling that, man. I wasn't feeling that at all. I'm not even gonna like go back and forth with him. Y'all know what's going on with that. Kim says, I honestly see the Saints really do live rent-free, really do live rent-free in everyone's head. Even a Falcon fan on his podcast made a video saying how the Bears need to beat the Saints. Well, look, that goes to show you that the Saints are relevant, number one, and they can't stand us because how good the Saints are in this division. See, the Saints have made this division so non-competitive, right? Okay, it's competitive with Tampa now because they got Tom Brady, but even the Saints destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? So the Saints have been a really good team, and they've won 4 straight NFC South championships, and they get mad, and that's one of the reasons why. Think about this, folks. That's why they trying to take from the Saints. Carolina has been trying to pilfer from the Saints for I don't know how long. It's to a point now that they're even running an offense like the Saints. They got Tommy Stevens out there trying to beat Taysom Hill light. Offensive game plan. They supposed to be Saints light, getting Saints players, interviewing Saints personnel like Jeff Ireland and you know what I'm saying, and Fontenot, like guys like that. They're trying to do all these different things to try to compete with the Saints. You had the Falcons out there trying to get all these different receivers, in order for them to match firepower with the Saints, but often imitated, never duplicated, man. Like, this is a joke here, Like, the Saints are so much of the wave to it's absolutely ridiculous. And for them to sit up here and act like their teams don't draft to compete with the Saints, they don't try to, they don't try to bite from the Saints. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, look at your team. Look at your offensive structure. Everything that they do is to compete with the Saints. Even with Tom Brady going to Tampa, it was to compete with Drew Brees and the Saints. Straight up. So they just mad, man. Like, they hate us because they ain't us, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be like, okay, man, we can compete, and go back and forth. But now it's just laughable. And that's one of the reasons why they just sitting around, holding their hands together and hoping and praying and wishing that Drew Brees retired, because they feel as if when Drew Brees retired, then, the Saints going to go to the back of the line. But if you notice, man, the Saints are what, 8-1 without Drew Brees? And it don't matter if it's Teddy Bridgewater or if it's Taysom Hill or going to be Jameis Winston. The Saints are going to find ways to win as long as Sean Payton is the head coach. As long as they have these cast of characters on this team that have that fire and desire and a passion to win, they're going to be relevant. Okay, you got a good, solid locker room consist of like leaders, like actual leaders, not guys that just got C's on their chest just because they've been with the team due to longevity. But these guys are actual leaders of men, not only leaders of men in the locker room, but leaders of young men in the community. You know what I'm saying? Creating flag football teams and social justice initiatives and stuff like that. When you got stuff like that going on in your locker room, you got success. And it's something that it's a blueprint that many of these teams in NFC South have been trying to bite, but they can't. Like, you can't do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the 21 laws of power always says one of the laws is the student will never be greater than a master, right? Because there's always something that the master is going to know more, you know what I'm saying, than the student, right? You know what I'm saying? More than the student. So the student will never be able to be greater than a master. That's 21 laws of power right there. They can do anything they want to do. They can go out here, they can, get Joe Brady, and they can go out here and they can try to get Tommy Stevens, and they can get Keith Kirkwood and them and all them different cats. That's fine. But the Saints are just going to continue to try to find ways to execute and win and beat the brakes off all those other teams, okay? Like I said, that's just the way that it is, man. The Saints are a legitimate football team. They're well structured. They have a ownership that stays out of the way, right? Arthur Blank sitting in his chair looking like Vincent Price or Count Chocolate or something like that up there talking about Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. He up there talking about they might be gone, and then you have the owner out there, Tepper. You know what I'm saying? That's out there in Carolina. He out there playing Moneyball. You know what I'm saying? He watched Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt movie, and now he think he can win some games based on analytics. Then you got the Glazer family out there in Tampa that's willing to make a deal like they Wayne Brady or something like that with any free agent. I mean, if this was 2012, 2013, I'd be a tad bit nervous. But the Saints have done something that most teams do when they want to be successful. They understand that you build your team through the draft, right? You go out there and you get guys with promising talent, and you combine that with maybe one or two free agents, and you go out there and make a run at it, right? That's what you do. But these other teams, they want to sell them. They want to sell themselves to the highest bidder, right? They want to go out there and throw the money, you know what I'm saying, back up the Brinks truck and get these guys his money. They want to see what the Saints doing. They want to get the Saints offensive coordinator, the guy that used to hold the ice water, you know what I'm saying, the ice water on the sidelines. They want to get the guy that was on juicy fruit duty for Sean Payton, and they want to put him in their organization because they feel like that's going to bring them success. But there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this, you know? And all these other teams in NFC South, man, they just going to have to wait their turn, try to find ways to get better. I mean, I don't make the rules. I mean, it is what it is. And as far as them, like, if something was to happen to the Saints, I'm knocking on wood if I say this, and they were to get eliminated from the playoffs, I mean, what really can they say that can hurt me? You know what I'm saying? Like, the Falcons haven't been to the playoffs, going on 3 years? Carolina ain't been to the playoffs in, 2017? So, I mean, what can they possibly say to hurt me? Hurt me as a fan? Like, y'all trying to win a division. Y'all trying to make the playoffs. Like, go sit down somewhere. You know, like, seriously. I want to see our defense shut down DK, Carlson, Olsen, Lockett, and Russ. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, Hunter. Right now, we focus on the Chicago Bears. So you got to beat the Bears in order for you to even be thinking like that. And the Saints beat the Bucs twice. Exactly, which also I don't understand how the media can sit up here and just continuously try to elevate Tom Brady every single time or something like that. Like, come on, dude. Saints beat the Panthers 3 times in a season, and a few years ago, it can be done. Right. Swept them. I just don't understand it. Willie says, what is the topic? Well, the topic of the podcast was mostly about Michael Thomas, Deontay Harris, but you know how it goes, Willie. If you don't, man, I mean, I start off with a topic. I give my little spiel about that. Of course, people can comment inside of the chat. Sometimes, we stay on topic. Some people want to ask other questions. So that's just the way the show goes, man. This is an open forum show. I can start a topic. We might end up talking about something completely different. So, but the topic, Willie, was about Michael Thomas, Deontay Harris, Marcus Williams, Saints getting back some of their starters, getting ready for the playoffs. The Panthers about to hire the Saints equipment manager. Yeah, they need to hire somebody. They need to hire somebody, man. But like I said, man, you can hire anybody you want, but that doesn't mean that that's going to make you a winner. I heard Deshaun Watson may ask for a trade. Do you think the Saints will try to get him? I don't know. He has a huge salary, man. I think he's one of the second highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And if we're talking about salary cap with the New Orleans Saints, I don't think you want to go in that direction. But I do feel bad for Deshaun Watson, man. The Houston Texans are a train wreck, an absolute train wreck when it comes to picking personnel. Like they're like the Jets right now. They're way too desperate. People are not doing their due diligence in their organization, trying to bring the best of the best. Okay, they're okay with mediocrity, and maybe it's because they don't have a long storied history of success, right? The Houston Texans came into the league in 2002. So, they still trying to figure it out. They still trying to find out what their culture actually is, and they're maybe trying to build one. But I do know this. going out here trying to get people just like the New Orleans Saints. They're trying to get people from the New England Patriots, people that resemble that winning culture. But look, just because you were close to something that was great don't mean that you're gonna be great. Okay. John Elway was the quarterback of the Denver Broncos all those years. His backup was Bubby Brister. You know what I'm saying? When John Elway left, Bubby Brister wasn't out there lighting the world on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you rolled up every day and you was in the quarterback room with John every day don't mean that you about to go out there and ball like him. Just because you're out there with Belichick all the time don't mean that you're going to, end up being something special or something great. Bill Belichick's coaching tree sucks. Seriously. You think about it. No disrespect. Romeo Cornell, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good defensive coordinator, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, as a head coach, nah, I ain't feeling that. Bill O'Brien, next. Matt Patricia, next. Josh McDaniels, next. You know what I'm saying? The only one that's doing something real quick is Joe Judge, and even that team was 6-10. So we don't know what's going to happen with the New York Giants. And the only way we probably can give him a pass is because late in week 17, the Giants played in a sorry NFC least, and they still was in playoff contention because that division was so terrible. But if you look down the line, even if you put up, I think, Eric Mangini, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really hitting on nothing in no Bill Belichick coaching tree. So just because you got those personnel people coming from New England, that don't mean that your team going to be successful. People need to stop that, man. Like, create your own culture. Like, stop trying to bite off people, man. My goodness, man. I understand that you want to go with things that work, and we all heard that cliche, oh, it's a copycat league, but you don't want to copy a team completely. You know what I'm saying? You can take little nuances of what they do, but you don't want to just turn your team into what another team actually is. It never works. You remember when we tried to be the Legion of Boom? We hired Rob Ryan, and then we got Jarvis Bird to play the middle of the field like Earl Thomas, and then we got Stanley Jean-Baptiste because he was 6'2" or 6'3", 215 like Richard Sherman, and then we got Keenan Lewis, you know what I'm saying, who was 6'1". We wanted to be a Legion of Boom. Did that work out? No, it did not, because the Legion of Boom is the Legion of Boom, and the Saints were the Saints. And the Saints had to find their own identity. So they had to go back and dig into the crates and find Dennis Allen. And Dennis Allen has created a much better culture defensively, which I didn't feel that way at the beginning of the season. I was like many other people in the Who Dat Nation that thought that maybe the Saints need to go in a different direction. But the Saints created a different culture. They got Aaron Glenn, right? They got Aaron Glenn, a guy who has a lot of promise, probably going to end up being a head coach or a defensive coordinator down the line. He brought that secondary, those young guys. He gave them confidence, told them to start talking trash in practice, and they created a culture of their own. The Saints became the wave. I don't care what anybody says. The Saints became the wave from 2017 to this present now. Think about this, folks. I want y'all to be real. I want y'all to be 100 real quick. 2017, when the Saints was really, out here, they was making a run. You had the best draft class and Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore, Alvin Kamara, right? What did the Saints start doing? The Saints started running down the field, finding a camera, started posing. A couple weeks later, you had every team running to the camera now. Now it's to a point what everybody doing. Everybody running to the camera because the Saints actually started there, right? You realize how, how polarizing and fun that was. Other teams started doing it. 2018, Teddy Bridgewater in the locker room doing the motorbike, right? Went viral. Everybody now, was up there doing the motorbike. Am I lying? Come on now. 2019, like the Saints, start dancing in the locker rooms, getting their jig on and stuff like that, strobe light and all that kind of stuff. What's the next thing? Now you got people on other teams on TikTok dancing in the locker room. Man, the Saints are the wave, okay? That's when you know that you create a culture, when people are trying to bite off you and everything that you do, from your winning culture, from your locker room culture. Call it for what it is, and I don't care if you're a Saints fan or not. Your team has been biting off the New Orleans Saints since 2017, and that's including the photo ops. Straight up. at least won a Super Bowl or 100. The motorbike too. Yeah, the motorbike. Yeah, I think Dak might end up staying with the Cowboys. He should. I mean, that man made himself some money by just being on the sidelines because that team was absolute slop. Hold on, let me see. Locker room celebrations, not everybody doing it. Exactly. Like I said, the Saints are the way. They don't want to give these guys the credit. They don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to they can see like the Saints are innovative, but the Saints have been the wave. I'm telling you, man. Everything that I've been seeing going around here, every time, you know what I'm saying? The only thing I can say, you know what I'm saying, that's becoming a wave that's been outside of the New Orleans Saints that I've been seeing is catching on has been Justin Jefferson's gritty, you know what I'm saying, that he got from the young kid, the high school football player. Besides that, man, the Saints been a wave. Everybody dancing in the locker room. Everybody running to the camera. You know what I'm saying? The Saints started like your whole defense and offense running to the camera, you know what I'm saying, to try to pose. Now they got them in the end zone now, right? You know what I'm saying? They added some Zoom calls on there, but besides that, man, the Saints actually started that stuff. They hate, man. Guess Buck podcast suck too. Look, man, I got a lot of respect for them. You know what I'm saying, some of them podcasters out there. Look, I don't mind guys going hard for their team. You should, right? We go hard here on the State of the Saints podcast for the Saints, but I draw the line when you are here just using all type of incentives, you know what I'm saying, and just doing it just because your team is not good, and you see this team over here winning like that. That just sour grapes right there. You're right. Saints always imitated but never duplicated. Well, the only thing I want the Saints to duplicate is Super Bowl championships. I've been saying other teams stay copying the Saints all day. How we pose at the goal line, our defense, everybody else started copying us, TJ. Yeah. Panthers about to break all the laws against cloning to look more like the Saints. I mean, they already do. And that's their issue right there. They trying to be the Saints. We started the ski mask too. Yep. That's a good point. And then the Eagles start wearing them. Tim, thank you very much for the $10. Says TJ, playoff football got my heart racing. I know we have the best team since 2009, but how can we keep from having high blood pressure? Also, even the grittier from Louisiana. Good point. Good point, Tim. Look, I'm honestly, Tim, I ain't really been paying attention to what's going on in the sports. I'm gonna just be real with you. I haven't been paying no attention, and I'm so thankful, man. You know, I'm preparing for us to move. That's taking my mind off what's going on, and of course, you know, not to make this political. I think we all seen what the heck happened on yesterday. So, you know, between all that going on, you know, my mind is not really focused on this playoff game, and I'm purposely doing that because I don't want to overthink that. You know what I'm saying? This is tough right here, man. This is tough stuff. You know, playoff football, one and done. There are no tomorrow. Well, there is no tomorrow. There are no tomorrow games. Okay, so you got to get it done. You got to get it done, man. No excuses. No more. Got to get it done. Folks stole that too. Oh, I'll give it to Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson from Louisiana, so I wouldn't call that biting. I don't care if he's in Minnesota. He's a Louisiana kid. Honey Badger just suggested Deshaun should go to the Saints. That would be good. You know, that'd be good, but that's way too much money. That's too rich for the Saints blood. The Saints have so much potential. I agree. Any updates on Lutz? Is he playing through an injury or something? If he is, we'll never find out. You know, Sean Payton don't disclose injuries. I think he hurt though. I think he's dealing with a hamstring issue. Me personally. TJ, do you think Bucs better team now? Nope. I don't. I feel like the Bucs are the Bucs, and I feel like the Bucs got the luck of the draw. And I feel like the NFL, the national media love the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a relatively easy game, according to, like, if you're looking at records and divisions. You know, I think they're excited because they know they're going to get at least one more week of Brady where they can talk and sing his praises. You even had Skip Bayless up there on Undisputed the other day, right? And he up there trying to talk up the Washington football team like these dudes out here like they really gonna be a true threat. Oh, they look what they got. They got this wide receiver. They got like all he trying to do is he trying to elevate the football team. So if Brady beat the Washington football team, Brady and the Bucs beat the Washington football team, he can go back up in there talking about how difficult it was. Like he just setting it up so he can knock it down. Like it's just absolutely ridiculous, man. No disrespect to the football team, and I know that there's a strong chance that they're gonna lose this game. There's a little slight chance that they might win the game, but let's just be real, man. This team, what they 7-9. I don't know, 7-9. Like, are you serious, man? Like, teams shouldn't even be in the playoffs. You got teams that won like 10, 11 games in the AFC ain't sniffed the playoffs. And here we are with a 7-9 team playing in the worst division in football, hosting a playoff game. Like, are you serious right now? And you know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can get beat because the Saints lost to a 7-9 football team, right? They lost to the Seattle Seahawks back in the day, but I ain't feeling it, man. I ain't feeling it. I think that's I think they happy as happy can be. They giddy. You know, they happy that he has like such a low degree of difficulty game coming up. Washington is pretty good. All they really need is a quarterback. Yeah, they got a good defense. Ron Rivera does a really good job. And, I think they will be in the game because you have to understand Ron Rivera, he was the coach of the Carolina Panthers last year. And, he was in NFC South. So, he does understand Bruce Arians and what Bruce Arians does. Going up against him, for a couple of years that he was in the NFC South. So I think that would work in their favor. I think they'll play good defensively, and then all of a sudden, I think the floodgates gonna open. I mean, I think their defense just gonna get tired because the offense can't move the ball. That's just the way I feel about it. Yeah, I mean, when you know that Alex Smith can't run, he barely got a calf. No disrespect to him, but he barely can run. He, what I'm saying, he's not really mobile. If you send pressure, all of a sudden like things are going to happen. Running game kind of suspect. I mean, wide receiver, all you got really is Terry McLaurin. You ain't really got nobody else too much. And you got Logan Thomas, the tight end, who used to play quarterback at Virginia Tech. I just don't see it being a good look. Saints had the same schedule as the Bucs, TJ. Yeah, they had the same schedule as the Bucs. But the Saints beat better teams. You know what I'm saying? Like every team that had a winning record that the Saints, basically had to go up against, they beat them. You know what I'm saying? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like any team that was above 500, they lost to. The Saints, the Saints were extremely, were extremely competitive, throughout those games. And, they even imposed their will on. I mean, even with that Minnesota game, it wasn't so much about what Tampa was doing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hating this. It's facts. I mean, look, Dan Bailey missed like 4-5 field goals in that game, right? If he would have made 3 of those field goals, they would have lost. There was times when Minnesota was down at the goal line, couldn't cash in at all. Dan Bailey missed a field goal. So it's a lot of things that happened with Tampa, that put them in this position. But when they went up against, like high-profile teams, and they beat Green Bay, I give them that. But I don't know, man. I'm just not really impressed. I'm not really impressed by them. I just feel like any team that really impose a threat on them when it comes to the pass rush, I feel like they're gonna lose. I would think they would lose to Washington if Washington can move the football, because Washington does indeed have a pass rush. Tampa lost every game but won to every playoff team they faced. Yep. And like I said, if you have a team with a pass rush that can get to the quarterback, they're going to give you fits. I feel like I said, Washington can give them fits, but they just don't have an offense. I'm going to read a few more, and then we're going to get up out of here. Hunter says, I'm glad we didn't get the 1 seed. We got all our weapons back this week, and we can get back in a consistent rhythm for round 2. I agree with that. Once we beat the Teddy Bears by week can make Green Bay too comfortable. Well, I think that, if you're going to be a seed, it's good to be a 2 seed because, like I said, it's still a strong possibility that you might end up playing the NFC Championship game in New Orleans, right? Because let's just say if a team goes up to Green Bay and beat them, I ain't frozen tundra. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, no fans in the stands. All you got to do is execute. I mean, all these NFL games are nothing but glorified scrimmage games. You bring your own fire, bring your own momentum. Never know what's gonna happen. You had Aaron Rodgers doing a hard count inside the Superdome. Like, come on, man, you can't do that stuff if you're on the road. Because you can bet if in the regular season you couldn't hear yourself speak. So for him to be able to do a hard count inside the Superdome, that tells you everything you need to know. So if you go out there and you play fundamentally, you don't make mistakes, and you execute, you should be able to win. Are you doing a Q&A show this week, TJ? I don't know if I'm gonna do a Q&A show. You have to stay tuned. I'll keep you posted, man. Like I said, I'm in the process of moving, man. We're about to end up moving into our new home on tomorrow, man. So that's gonna be occupying my time. Probably most of my shows I'm probably gonna be doing. I'm not gonna be in front of the computer because we ain't got internet at the house just yet. So it's probably gonna be me on the phone. So like I said, you guys just bear with me on these last couple of days, you know what I'm saying, as we try to make this transition and, and moving and stuff like that. But I'm going to try to, I'll let you know, just keep it. I don't want to say I'm going to do something. I don't want to say I'm going to do something and don't do it, okay? So I don't want to say I'm going to do a show and don't get one going. Ryan says, I got a feeling it's going to be the Saints, Tampa Bay in the divisional round. Well, in the divisional round? How is that possible? Because let me see. You have the Bears who are the 7th seed. You got the football team who is like, it's impossible. The only thing the Saints, I think the only team they can really play is the Rams, Seahawks. Yeah, the Rams are the Seahawks, right? Because, the lowest seed goes to Tampa, so, yeah, the lowest seed go to Tampa. So if the Saints win, Tampa win, if the Saints win, and if Tampa win, and if the Seahawks win, then most likely the Saints will be playing the Seahawks in the divisional round. And Green Bay will end up getting, the lowest seed, which would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If Washington end up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Rams end up beating the Seahawks, then the Rams would go to Lambeau Field and Washington would come to New Orleans. I think that's how it would go, right? Yeah. Yeah, because they'll be the lowest seed. So the only teams that the Saints can really play are Seattle or Washington. Those are the two teams that they'll play. And Green Bay would get rather Tampa or the Rams. Yeah, so Coach K says if the Rams beat the Hawks, then the Saints can face the Bucs in the next round. Wait, so if the Rams, that would be okay. Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Good point. Thank you, Coach K. I just thought about that. Good point. The Rams beat the Seahawks this week. Okay, so if the Rams beat the Seahawks, the Rams would go to Lambeau. All right, and Tampa would actually play the Saints inside of the Superdome. Okay, got you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. I've been up, man. I ain't been asleep since I went to work last night, man. So y'all have to excuse me. So I appreciate y'all helping me out. Let's just take care of the Bears first, TJ. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. I just want to take care of the Bears. But let's go ahead and close this thing out, man. The Saints getting their starters back. Michael Thomas coming back at the right time. Deontay Harris coming back. You got Marquez Callaway, who is playing confidently. You got Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook, Adam Troutman. Seems like he's emerging to be the tight end that we expected him to be. We need the linebackers to step up in this game. We definitely need these linebackers to handle their business. Alex Allen-Zalone need to be ready. Zach Bond, they've been using him a little bit more. He had an uptick of his snaps. Marcus Williams coming back in the secondary is plus. Look, I know how people may feel about Marcus Williams, but if you haven't appreciated the elevation of Marcus Williams this season, then I don't know what to tell you, because this is his best season as a Saint. I mean, he's always around a football. He's been really, really physical, something that we felt like he struggled with. I mean, he's been laying the wood, hitting guys, dislodging guys from footballs and catching interceptions. Can't ask for anything better from the safety position. And I think that also helps that you got Malcolm Jenkins out there, who puts guys in positions to win their matchups and also be able to understand these different coverages. And also you have somebody like C.J. Gardner-Johnson come back, you can send on blitz packages. So if the Saints, can stay healthy throughout the playoffs, we won't have any hiccups. Nobody's really on the interior line like Malcolm Brown or Sheldon Rankins or David Onyemata go down. We should be all right. We got a good rotation going. And hopefully the Saints can start off fast, man. No sloppy football play, no wobbly footballs, no unconventional interceptions, you know what I'm saying? Nothing like that, or no fumbles or no muffs. Let's just try to play as perfectly as we can in order for us to move on to the second round. Like the New Orleans Saints are a better team than the Chicago Bears, and they should beat the Chicago Bears. But if they allow the Chicago Bears to be around in the end, then it's shame on them, man. You gotta strike while the iron is hot. You gotta handle your business. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you very much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. Facebook.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. And previous episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Follow yours truly on Twitter at State of Saints and on Instagram at TJJones_. That's TJAY Jones_. You all have a great day, great evening, great night whenever you're watching this video. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?